Oops. Wait. Where did Matt go? I was about to add him here. He just disappeared. Well, he's coming back, hopefully, my co host. But hey, hi everyone, and
Hello.
welcome to another episode of Paranormal Podcast. My special guests are here, Blood Moon Paranormal. Um, do you guys want to introduce yourselves? Tell a little bit about who you are and where you come from and all that stuff.
Absolutely. So my name is Zak Wenzel. I've been doing this for about 10 years now. Well, a little over 10 years at this point. And I started the group back in 2013. Then we rebranded to Blood Moon in 2015. And we've been doing this, like I said, for 10 years now. And we go all around
Wow.
the US and we investigate different haunted locations and we make documentaries. And we're very science oriented in that sense. We don't put a lot of religion into it, but we have no issue putting religion into it. But mostly science in terms of investigating. So yeah.
And I'm Emily. I am a part of Blood Moon. I am co-lead and head photographer. I also run my own business, Dark Tricks Photography. I joined Blood Moon in about 2019, and I started doing photography for them, and I've just kind of been with them since. So, yeah.
Awesome. I'm so happy to have you guys here.
Oh, we're happy to be here.
Yes.
Yeah. So, hi everyone in chat. I want to say hello to everyone. So we have Sky, we have Haji Boy, and there is my co-host. Sup? What happened? You're muted. Oh no.
My headphones were
Technical.
dying,
Oh
and
no.
I had to plug it in. It didn't work. I was like, what the heck? It worked last time I plugged them in. So I guess it's not working anymore. So I'm not using headphones, I guess.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, what's
Hi,
up, Dan?
Tanya. Yeah, technical difficulties. I feel like usually when I go live, something doesn't work, so I'm just waiting what it's gonna be this time. Knock on wood. Who we have here? Wolf Paranormal.
My boy.
Hello. Hi, Florna. Did I say hi to Joseph already? I think I did. Sky
Hello, hello.
says, "Nice to meet you."
Nice to meet you as well.
Hello there, Hauntings with Hodge. Hello there, everyone.
Yes, hi everyone, and welcome. Awesome to have everyone here. So, well, Matt missed it, but Zach and Emily already introduced themselves. Do you have like a question in your mind? I'm gonna like see what I have here. Sorry, I'm a little
So
not prepared.
I have a question.
I have an answer.
So when it comes to your so you guys do any filmmaking at all? I know that you guys are involved with YouTube, I believe. Do you do like documentaries or anything like that?
Yes, I'm actually I graduate film school this year. So
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
I'm pretty involved with the film part of it. So yeah.
So, I think Blood Moon Productions would sound cool for your production company name.
I actually have a separate like production company. She's actually wearing the design.
I was
It's
gonna
like
say-
backwards right now, but
Yeah,
it's Fear Moon Media.
Okay.
So
Oh,
yeah, that's
that's
our
actually cool.
production thing. So like when I made that was like way after I made Blood Moon. But like the first thing that I had for the name for Blood Moon was it was Fear Reality was the original name. We went to Blood Moon Paranormal. We switched it. And then I was like, you know what? For this media company that I'm doing, since I'm in film school, I want to kind of have something that kind of separate, different things. I was like, I'm just going to push the two names together. So I'm like, Fair Moon Media. There we go. So
there you go. Yeah, it's funny because there's a lot of production company names out there that like have weird names.
Yeah.
So it just works. Like it took me a long time to come up with my production company name because I was just thinking about it. Like, okay, nothing's. It's so first you have to go look on IMDb, Google, all these places to make sure it's not taken. And then I finally found out like Devil's Hour Productions goes with my editing style and everything like that. So I was like, you know what? I like the sound of it, and then it has a creep factor to it. So I was like,
Yeah.
that would work. But when it came to you for your like thought process on making your name, what was it exactly? Like what made you think of the name?
Well, like I said, like I took the old group name that we had, the first part of it, because it was Fear Reality. I
I
took that
mean, like
part.
let's say let's go before that then. What made you think of that name first?
So
Like what was the reason?
the
Mhm.
fear reality part was so that channel wasn't just paranormal when we started it. It was ghost hunting. It was I did magic back then, so I used to do like magic tricks and stuff. So I would do magic for the channel, and then it was like a group of us, so we did gaming together and we did pranks. So we did all this stuff, and one of my major influences back then was this channel called Disturbed Reality. It was a magic channel, but it was just a huge influence for me. And I'm also a big Batman fan. So like Fear, I was like, Fear with Scarecrow, like Fear Reality. I was like, that kind of works. And then when I transitioned to Blood Moon, out of Fear Reality to Blood Moon, it's not much of a story. I was in geometry class in high school, and we were shapes or whatever. I was really bad at that class for whatever reason, and I had a red pen. I drew a circle, and I was just thinking about like rebranding and everything, and I just was staring at that red circle, and I was just doodling and stuff because I wasn't paying attention, and I was like, Blood Moon would be a cool name. So I looked up the meaning for blood, like what a blood moon is and stuff like that, and made sure that it wasn't taken. And thank you for the sub. Um, and I was like, all right, it's not taken. Let's just do it. So that's how I got the name.
Awesome.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
I really love the name.
Thank
And
you.
it kind of
it
fits
sounds
like
cool.
blood moon, and like your colors are like red, pretty
Yeah.
much like everything. So
Like mine.
everything's just fit. That's awesome. So, what made you like interested in paranormal? Like, had you or did you have any childhood experiences or anything? Were you always a believer, or were you skeptic, or what's going on with that?
So this is gonna be a little bit of a long story, but we have time, so I'm not worried about it.
Yes, it's fine. The stage is yours.
So I around like the age of 7 and 8 years old, I stopped believing in God entirely. Um, I had just gone through a lot of trauma in my life, and there's a lot of things that had happened, and I was just like, well, everyone's gonna be like, this is just his plan for you. It's just a lesson and stuff like that. I don't believe that. It was a lot of stuff that happened that I wish didn't happen, and it was pretty bad. So I stopped believing in God. I didn't believe in ghosts. I didn't believe in much at the time. Um, I had this experience at my friend's house. It's actually down the street, and we were going to his house to play some GameCube, and he had this old TV, so like there was a reflection in the TV. We go into it's his grandmother's house. I should mention that. We go into the living room, and there's the TV, and I look at this painting that's on the opposite wall, and the painting is of a little girl and it's smiling. I'm like, it's a creepy painting. I ask him about it, and he's like, yeah, it creeps me out every time I'm here. I'm like, yeah. So we go to turn the TV on. We both look at the TV before we turn it on, and in the reflection, we see the painting, and the little girl is frowning now in the reflection. We turn around, she's smiling again. We look back at the reflection, she's still smiling.
What?
So we were really freaked out by that. We're just like, okay, just turn the TV on. Let's play some like Mario Kart or something. So that was kind of my first experience. And I actually, the painting is right there on my wall. I ended up buying it from them
Oh my god, you
a couple
have
years ago.
it?
Yeah, I have it now. Um,
Oh my god.
so like a year after I got the painting, so this is like fast forwarding like years. A year after I got the painting, I found an article online saying the most haunted article or the most haunted paintings ever. It was like in the world, like, whoa, hyping it up. And that painting was in the article. So
Hmm.
what I have is a copy of the painting, and I had never heard of the painting before. And it's called Love Letters, and the original painting is at the Driscoll Hotel in Texas. So basically, what is they said about it is that there was, as they were building the hotel, or if they had the hotel, the owner's daughter was playing with a ball on the stairs. She ended up falling down the stairs and died on the stairs, and that is a painting of her, and she supposedly
Wow.
haunts wherever the painting's at. So
Wow.
Hmm.
That's
yeah,
so cool. Like, I don't know. I always like paintings that are haunted. That's been like very fascinating to me. I don't know what it is. It's just cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
You have
Is
such
So,
a
I
cool story. Getting into this, I feel like mine's so like basic. I just grew up in like an old
hey, they're so basic. Come
house.
on.
I grew up in an old house, spooky house. I mean, I was always feeling like there was something there. Always interested in the whole like not I wasn't a Ghost Adventures fan, but like on like the travel or Discovery Channel where it's like the reenactments, like a haunting kind of thing, where it's just like theatrical playthroughs of home hauntings. Like I was always a fan of that. And like I got a little ghost hunting kit through this school book order thing, and I was like, oh, this is a bunch of phooey. I never got into it. And then I worked at a place that supposedly was haunted and experienced some stuff and kind of went from there. But I wish I had a crazy experience in a house or just with a painting. That would be cool. But everybody
well,
starts on their own terms.
well, that's cool. Like, I didn't, my story isn't that interesting. Like, I lived in a house that most likely was haunted. Now I'm thinking about it. And yeah, slowly just getting interest and finding like YouTube channels. And here we are doing this. So I don't have like a crazy story either. So everyone has their own stories. And yeah. And the most important thing is like what the future will bring and what kind of
exactly.
evidence and everything you will find now you're into this stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in a world of media where there's media everywhere, stories can start sooner than what they're anticipated to. So,
Yeah.
so out of curiosity, when it came to your production stuff, like, do you have do you gravitate towards doing only documentary stuff, or do you gravitate towards other things?
I've done a couple of short films that I had to do through film school. Um, they're not stuff I'm super proud of. I would probably never post them, but they are there. I used to do some like skit comedy stuff with some friends. That's kind of how I started YouTube. So I was doing
Same.
YouTube before I started the paranormal. Like I would say I started in like 2009 or something like that. I started with that friend that I was playing GameCube with actually. So we used to do like skit stuff and all that sort of stuff. I mean, I've done like music videos. I've done like I said, I've done some works of fiction, stuff like that. So
Yeah. Cool.
That's
Yeah, like this fun. It's always fun doing because I also went to film school for a year, only a year, because that was too much money.
I get it. I get it.
And so basically, yeah, like making shorts was fun with like-minded people that
Mhm.
like are interested in doing the same things. But I've always gravitating towards documentaries over uh, fiction for me. Always have.
Yeah.
I do like comedy though. Comedy's fun to me though. I really
Yeah.
like doing that.
I
But
definitely I definitely tried to do like the works of fiction like through the school stuff because you do have to do some, but then there was one that was like optional and I was like, I'll give it a try again. Like because the first one it was like they gave you a script that you had to go off of, and then the second one was you had to write a script and do all this stuff. And I tried it that way and I didn't like it. So this final project that I'm doing for school right now, it's my absolute final one. And I'm doing a documentary because I'm like, this is just going to be the easiest for me. This is what I want to do. So
do you mind me asking what kind of documentary?
I'm just sticking with paranormal. It's
Oh,
what
so
I know.
you're going to
Yeah.
show off a paranormal documentary?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's what I know. So
It's my niche too.
yeah.
awesome. It's so funny. Like, you ask like all these like filmmaker stuff questions.
Yeah,
was like,
because
yeah,
I am
you're
one.
you're interested. Yeah, exactly.
I'm here for it. So
No, but that's interesting. I absolutely love it. Um, I'm still learning. I'm still new to everything, but maybe
She's only
someday.
started like a year and a half ago, and or 2 years, and
Yes. Yeah.
and she is extremely good for only doing 2 years of editing. Like surprising,
Yeah.
like how good
Ah,
she is.
stop. I'm
Like she's better than me than when I first started. Like doing my, well, I was pretty young. I was like 15, I think, when I started editing. But but yeah, in 2 years, she's already way better than me. So
yeah,
oh,
it's your stuff is really good editing, seriously. Because I like when I first started, mine was dog water. Like it was bad.
yeah, same,
Like, it was
same. It's bad.
terrible.
oh,
I
that's
cringe a
hard to
lot,
believe.
Yeah.
Do you still
not
have
just
those
from my
videos?
editing, but from how I am. Like when I was young, it's like, oh my god, shut up! Please slap him in the face. The old version of me.
Aw, you weren't even that bad. I don't know what you're talking about.
You watch some of it.
um,
I regret it.
oh no. Oh yeah, I just want to say thank you, John, for the super sticker. That's so sweet of
Super chat.
you. Oh my
Super
God, we
chat,
did crow here.
baby. This crow beautiful there.
Oh no. Oh no. But yeah. Um, no, actually, like, forgot what the hell we were even talking about.
Well, when it
Was
comes
there
to,
something? Yeah.
sorry, go babe.
Was there like something like? Did I like interrupt? I don't know. Go on.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, I don't
We
know
ended
what's
the
going
question
on.
from the last question we ended. Now,
Okay.
so you've
Well, it
been
looks
in,
like you have a question, so go ahead, babe.
so you've been through 4 years of film school.
I think,
Soon to be
yeah.
in July.
I started like I want to say I started like during COVID. I think. So like time has kind of flew by.
You
Yeah, it's
started
gonna
in
be 4 years.
20. You started in
Yeah, it's gonna be
20.
4 years
I'm
coming
gonna
up.
look you guys up and subscribe because I was like not originally the co-host, so I this is like last thing, so I didn't do research on you guys. So I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Real good.
my other co-host, Exploring Harley, he couldn't make it, so the Princess Scary was like, she could maybe possibly make it, but then she couldn't. So I was like, well, babe, do you want to be? You were my
Yeah, I was
third
last
option.
resort, very, very
Yeah,
last resort at the bottom of the list.
yeah. I was like, I guess. I'm kidding. No, it's like
I
usually it's
just
it's either
subscribed.
Princess Scary or
Thank you.
Exploring
Thank you.
Harley.
Appreciate
They're
it.
usually my co-hosts. So, um, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I know one of your fonts.
Which
That's how you
one?
know you're a filmmaker when you can recognize fonts.
I'm a font whore.
Yeah.
I love
Ring
fonts.
bearer. Use ring
Same.
bearer on
I
this one.
That's right.
love
Yeah.
fonts.
Yep.
I love my fonts. You can ask her. I probably have about 1,000 downloaded.
Yeah, same. Same with
It's fun.
Elena.
He's
Fair.
We
scrolling
both.
and he's like, I know that font. It's this. And says the name. I love that game. It's a fun game.
Yep. Like Helena has a lot of fonts too. Like I love that Helena and I do like have very similar passions. Like actually it's pretty much exactly the same, to be honest. She's more into the true, I like true crime, but she's a little bit more into it than I am. Just a little bit. So like that's why she's making a channel for it. Go subscribe to Hellbent. Hellbent
Yes,
channel.
I have a second channel for true crime, but this is not about me today, okay? We're talking about Blood Moon Paranormal. So,
Yeah.
if chat has any questions, like if you have any questions, just drop them in chat. I can't English today, and yeah, we will answer them. Um, yeah, there was actually a question I wanted to ask you. Ah. Okay, so yes, how do you choose your locations you go investigate? Like, what is it like your criteria? Like, okay, I want to investigate this place.
That's a good question. Um, in I feel like in the past we kind of gravitated more towards like each year I kind of have a set goal in my mind about what I want to do. in terms of locations. In the past, we have done places that like, oh, we want to go to places that are a little less known. Sometimes we're like, oh yeah, we want to go to places that are more known. This year, I've kind of dedicated to myself to having a purpose for every investigation. Like I think about it, okay, so this is a place we want to go to, but why do we want to go there? A lot of the places we're going to this year, there's three things that make the criteria for it. First of all, is it on our bucket list? You know, and I'm talking like top of the list bucket list. Like, is this a place that a lot of people have on their bucket list that we really want to go to? The second criteria on our list for this year is we want to hit places where there's reports of demons. I'm not a believer in demons. I want to be proven wrong. Okay. I'm going to go in these places. I want to know if there's demons here. I'm going to provoke the demons. If we don't get any demon stuff, we have an investigation out of it regardless. I'm going to post the episode. You know, I'm not going to provoke if we're getting stuff that's a little more lighter, like if we're getting children and stuff like that. I don't want to provoke that. I'm specifically looking for these demons, you know, and that's going to get a lot of people riled up. I don't care. These are our experiences. This is what we're witnessing. If we're not getting demons, we're not getting demons, you know. The third thing,
like that.
What was that?
It's rare.
I like that. I respect that. I really like that about you guys.
And the third thing is we're doing local stuff. We want to show off local history. I live in Joliet, Illinois. So this town has so much history to it, so much. And I want to tell people about the history of this town. And doing so, doing an investigation with it, so it still sticks within our niche. So, yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. Like, what kind of locations do you have there?
We have a prison, first of all.
Awesome.
So we have a big documentary coming out with that at some point this year, probably later this year. And then we have mansions, old mansions. We have museums. We have old businesses that were, you know, jewelry stores, grocery stores, speakeasies, doctor's offices, stuff like that. We have this giant train station. It's beautiful. We have just tons of places out here that with reported hauntings. So
whole place is made out of limestone.
Yep.
Whole town is literally limestone.
That explains it.
That's
So
perfect.
are people like open for like paranormal? Like, is it easy to get into these places? Like,
it has not
are
been
people
easy.
like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's what I've been doing, and this is my little secret. I've been going on Google Maps, and I go into Street View, and I go street by street. I look at the businesses. If I see a business that looks like it might be in an old building or something like that, I do my research on that building real quick. And if it looks like there's some sort of history to it, I just email them. I email that business, and I'm just like, hey, we do paranormal documentaries. We've been doing it for 10 years. This is what we want to do. We want to tell the local history. We want to tell your history, and it's good for your business as well. They respond. The worst they could say is no. I prefer them to respond and say no than to leave me on red, but whatever, you know.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh my gosh.
But we've gotten a lot of responses from these businesses, and we've already filmed two or three.
2 and then 3 in a few days.
Yeah. So, and it's only February, so
Yeehaw.
we have done a lot so far this year.
Wow. I can't wait to see like what do you come up with this year, because like I don't know if any of you have seen their videos. You haven't, I guess, babe.
No, I just subscribed though.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
They're so talented. Like seriously, everyone go
The
subscribe.
thumbnails
go
look
watch
good.
the
I
video.
really like the Ed Gein
Like,
thumbnail. That looks cool.
Just perfect.
That's one of my favorite videos right now. The newest one we just dropped, I'm not too happy with it, but yeah. So
yeah, the Ed, like, I'm already interested. Did you actually investigate like the house that Ed Gein was in?
So that house burnt down. It's not there
Okay,
anymore.
I didn't know too much about like where the house was or anything. I didn't look it up. But
Yeah. So we have a hunting series where we investigate serial killers and criminals, and it's basically the premise of it is it's not about where, it's about who. So what we did for that one is we went to Plainfield, Wisconsin. We visited the house that he did some of it at. We visited 3 cemeteries that he stole graves from. We visited the 2 murder spots where he killed 2 people. And then we visited this jail, which has artifacts of his. And we were actually able to hold his knife while we were investigating the jail. So
Wow.
it was pretty surreal.
To say the least.
Yeah. Yeah. So we actually, like, the jail we got to spend the night at, that was something we had to actually like sleep there, and not sleep there, but
be there for the night.
be there for the night. So
Stay in the cell he was held in, and
Yeah.
hold his knife. It was a whole lot.
Awesome. So, what is like your absolute favorite investigation you have done, and why?
you go first.
We haven't even talked about this one though.
It doesn't have to be like the most haunted or crazy. It's just something you just think it's your favorite, and why?
I'm just gonna talk about it. Is it fine?
I think so.
I
don't know what you're
We've
saying.
already been. It's the next one that's coming out.
Oh yeah, you can talk about it. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So my favorite, it's tied between 2, but my favorite so far as of recently is Pine Lawn Manor. That's in Indiana,
No,
right?
Illinois.
Is it?
Yeah.
I usually don't drive, so Pine Lawn Manor in Jesus Christ, Illinois. It's just a whole lot of spookiness, I guess. It was a nursing home and just like a care facility in a sense.
Yeah, so it was originally a motel, and then
Yeah,
they
that's
converted it into like a mental hospital and nursing home.
Mm-hmm.
Which, like, it's weird when you're walking the hallways in there. You could see it literally looks like a motel. Like, it's weird. But the activity there was pretty interesting.
It was very absurd. It was very absurd.
That's actually our next episode that comes out. So
Yeah.
Ooh,
I
when is
really
it
like
coming
this
out?
thumbnail. That's such a cool thumbnail.
oh,
Jericho. Jericho was a good one. I liked Jericho a lot too. We had some weird stuff happen there too.
I have a thing for black and white and red. That looks like that draws my eye a lot. I like that style.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
Thank you.
So
Yeah,
when is the new video coming out, by the way?
the new video
Do you
comes
know?
out on the 22nd. So
22nd. Okay.
yeah, of this month.
Oh, so you did the Conjuring house, I see.
Yeah.
What was your experience there?
Not much.
It's a house.
Not much. We didn't get much there. So.
I think I got lucky just because I investigated before everyone else started investigating. So like it literally just came to the public when we got access. So it just was released to the public. We were one of the first few teams that ever investigated after it had been released to everyone. And that's why I think we got lucky for our evidence for our documentary. So
yeah,
that's how I feel about these locations. Like when it's like so famous, like it's like booked. Like every day there is investigation. It's gonna like, in my opinion, it's gonna like affect the haunting. I don't know what do you think about that, but I feel like it might be like they're like,
yeah. I mean,
I don't have anything to say anymore.
No, I agree. I agree because there is times when we go to places, and Conjuring House is a great example of that because we went there and the tour guides that were there, we went right after the new lady started taking over and changing the price.
Yeah.
So we actually got it at the price that it was originally, that's $759, I think, or something like that. It was like 700 and something. So we got it, like we booked it, and then a month later, like I guess it sold. And then, like, as soon as we did the investigation, we heard that the prices went up, and that they started making you sign a document saying that you had to tell the real history and stuff, which we don't have an issue with, so it was fine. But I was just like, okay, like.
But it's way more expensive, ridiculously priced, in my opinion. And do you also have to pay an extra fee if you're a YouTuber?
Yeah, I heard. You know what I heard she does, and this could be not true at all. This is a rumor. I heard that she takes the amount that you have, the amount of followers and subscribers you have on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and she adds it up and she puts it into an algorithm to give you that extra price. That's what I heard. I don't know how true it is. I don't know, but it just kind of seems a little weird to me.
Oh, I saw that you did the Monroe House too.
Yes.
What was your experiences like? Any good stuff from there?
It was weird. It was weird. It felt like there was a time warp almost. Like it almost for us, it felt like time would slow down, but then go really fast.
Mhm.
Like I don't even know. We had a lot of like footstep noises. Like we were down in the basement and we heard walking right. It like walked. Sounded like it walked all the way up to the basement door and then stopped. And like I was like waiting for someone to open the door. I'm like waiting and waiting. Nobody opens the door. I go up there, no one's standing around, and the rest of our crew are like all in that like that front area where you kind of like
Living room.
that living room type area. I'm just like, all right, that's weird. No, it's weird. Demonic, no, but weird.
Yeah, I personally don't think it's demonic or.
Yeah, I haven't had. I feel like if whatever's there targets literally very specific individuals, and so there's certain individuals that are getting affected there pretty badly. But it's not like the Revenant Acres case I done, which I believe the entire house is. You just feel the heaviness and that place was dark as hell and was my first, I would say, demonic case. I've only done 2 ever in my entire 13 years of investigating. I've only done 2 that I would consider demonic, and that was one of them. Monroe House, it's harder for me to say because I don't get that same feel.
Yeah.
But I do hear the cases sound very psychological with a lot of certain individuals going there. Specific individuals like being chosen for certain individuals, which I thought was interesting. And you'll see in the documentary how intriguing and how in depth this thing goes. So is it demonic? I don't know, but there is because of the psychological stuff that's happening to certain individuals, it might be. I don't know.
What's up,
but it's not the same type of demonic feel as I got from the Revenant Acres one. Revenant Acres was different all on its own. Yeah.
I think it comes into a lot of psychological mindset sort of things because from our experience in the past, I've gotten a lot of responses from spirits being like, yeah, we're just going to mess with you and go along with this whole we're mean and demons just to get attention and get more of an upset rise out of you. Because I feel, in my personal opinion, I feel like sadness and fear are very strong and they can ride that wave very easily. So I feel like if that's the thing that they know that'll get you riled up and get you like all nervous and like, ooh, like I'm gonna like, all jumpy, that I feel like that's the wave they're gonna ride for sure, even if they're not a demonic spirit.
This location though actually has evidence of ritualistic items happening, rituals happening at this location. I was one of the very few people that went to the crawl space, and there's some weird things that were found in there. It'll be in the documentary. Not trying to go too in depth here, but there's definitely I could talk to you about it offline. But definitely.
No, you're good. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. So, what is your favorite paranormal equipment to use, and what is your least favorite, and why?
You want to go out again?
Yeah,
John's excited.
I already know it because everybody like it's the SP7 Pro. It's just the SP7 just on steroids because of the sweep rate. It goes from 30 all the way to what 320, I think
350. Honestly.
350. But I love having it at 30 and 50 for the sweep rate, just because there's no way if you have it at 30, there's no way it's gonna be like Beyonce kind of thing. Like if something's coming through, like it's gonna be more towards the side of, hey, this is probably more of a communication thing because it sweeps insanely fast. So that's my favorite, at least.
Do you have a least
what would be
favorite?
your favorite? Because I gotta think about my least favorite.
My favorite, it's tough. I would say the SB7 Pro is definitely like up there for me. Because it's just it's a beast. It really is.
It has that REM pod mode too
It
on
does
it. I
have that
forgot
REM
about
pod mode.
that.
Ooh.
But I've also I've been doing more EVP stuff recently. So I guess digital recorder, just a decent one, you know. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got for that. Least favorite? Oh man, there's a lot there.
The list honestly gets larger and
Yeah.
larger every investigation, I feel like.
Yeah. We do use them a lot. I'm not a huge fan of the flashlights, the mag lights.
Yeah, it's debunkable.
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of moments where they're just going off to go off.
Mhm.
And there's been a couple times where I've been like, all right, that's a little weird. An investigation we did recently, I had a flashlight set up and I was kind of just trying to explain to the spirits what everything does. This is a place that has never been investigated before, so they might have needed a little help. So I'm like, oh, you know, over there, this is an Ovulus device. You just use your energy, pick out the words in the dictionary, put it on the screen. Over here, this is a cap. All you got to do is tap it. I'm like, and this is a flashlight, and it just turns on. And it had been sitting there for a little bit, and I was just like, all right, this is a little weird. So there's like kind of like some moments where those flashlights are a little weird, but for the most part, I'm not a fan of them. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
for
not a
me,
fan
I
of
had
them.
one time it was like so spot on, and like I don't know what you think about like phone apps, but Spirit Talker, it's been so spot on so many times. And there was this one investigation. It was at Hinsdale House, and literally Spirit Talker and flashlight at the same time would answer to a question like directly, and it was just like, what the hell? Like you can't make that up, and it happened multiple times. But that was the only time I trusted the flashlight, because other times I'm like, eh. So
Mhm.
yeah.
yeah, so Spirit Talker, what I will say, I love Spotted Ghost. I've talked to
Yes.
him like a bit, and I do enjoy talking
He's
with him. He's a
awesome.
great guy.
Very smart man.
He's very smart.
Oh yeah.
In terms of his app, I am very on the fence. I've never been about apps, but I downloaded it recently to try it out, and I've kind of been experimenting with it. I have an iPhone. You know, I have an iPhone. It has that face sensor on the front. I don't know if Androids do, but
Yeah, they do.
this does.
Mhm.
And I've noticed, because we use IR cameras, I've noticed that right before it goes to spit out a response, the IR starts flashing on it, and I'm not sure why.
Mhm.
I've asked him. He said he doesn't know about it. He asked for a video. I haven't sent him a video yet. But what I've also noticed is that whenever someone sets it up, so if they take the phone, they go set it up, turn the on button, it starts saying characteristics about that person. So
Yeah.
she caught on to that actually. So she has
Really?
black hair right now. She usually has red hair.
Mhm.
And when she was setting it up, there was 2 occasions where it said at different locations, it said red hair. And we're like, okay.
Okay.
And she brought that up to me, and I'm like, all right, let me go set it up. So I go set it up, and that time, completely different location too. It said brown hair.
Well, it did that for Carly when you were under Estes.
Did it do it for Carly too? So I'm like,
That happened before yours too.
yeah, I don't know. There's a couple things where the Spirit Talker has said something, and then moments later the Ovulus says something. And I'm on the fence about both devices. You know, I take everything that they say. So
Mhm.
Like my issue is I've heard all those things through the device like multiple times. Like the hair color, like what you mentioned, I've heard it say that before. And so I'm like, it just keeps repeating the same like whatever words, and sometimes it gets something coincidentally, and that's it in my opinion. And that's why I'm not a big fan of apps. But the only one that I'm still on the fence, but a little bit more towards it, just because I've had like over and over and over and over again responses, consistency, which was SB7, which I was like really surprised about because I was starting to become skeptical about that. But then I'm like, okay, that's a little too many times for a coincidence in one little session. And so I was like, so I've had sessions like that where it was just very accurate. I was like, okay, there's more towards the belief towards it for me when it comes to using frequencies, radio frequencies somehow, and maybe they can manipulate them, maybe. But when it comes to apps, I've never had that with apps. Like I've never had it to where it's only coincidentally right one or two times in a row, then it stops being. Then it's just random words again,
Right.
and then it goes. Then you get another one hours later, then it's a random word again. That's what I get personally.
Yeah.
That's why I stopped using them. I test things out, of course. I always test things out. I don't just like blow it off completely.
Yeah.
Also, not a fan of the SLS or the cap balls and all that because a lot of positives with both.
Yeah.
things.
No, I get it. And usually when we do the when we use Spirit Talker, I always put it next to an Ovilus. Always. I'll put an Ovilus out by itself, but I'll never put Spirit Talker out by itself. I always have to have an Ovilus like somewhere in the room with us. Just to see if they can use both to spit out a word. So
Yeah. Has that ever happened? Like they say the same word or something that makes sense?
Like once or twice, I think.
yeah, it's happened a couple times.
Yeah, that's interesting. Do you believe in Ouija boards?
I want to.
I also want to, but I don't.
I want to.
Yeah.
And from our experience, we haven't had any luck. Maybe we're just not doing it right. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we did it once on a TikTok live. Oh my god,
that was a
dude.
mess.
There was a lot of people on this one. We don't usually get a lot of people on TikTok. I don't use TikTok that much, but we were on this TikTok live when it was Emily and Carly using a Ouija board, and there was like 30 people in the comments saying like, "You're doing it wrong. You got to do this," but they were all contradicting each other.
Everybody
and it
was
was hilarious.
Oh my god.
Everyone was fighting in the comments
see,
on how to use a Ouija board, and just both me and Carly are like, "Well, just tell us," and we're just like constantly like changing how we're doing it. I did it by myself, and like I even said, "Man, I feel like a bad witch for not being able to use a
Here's
Ouija
the thing.
properly." Apparently, like.
Ouija boards, I don't think it's the board itself. I think it's certain individuals that can maybe possibly, with the power of belief, manifest things. That's what it's also a separate side of the paranormal.
Energy and power you put into it. Exactly.
Yeah. And so I think that's a separate side of the paranormal that's not entity related. It's more of like the mind more powerful than what we think. And so that's what my input is on the Ouija boards, because I never had anything happen with Ouija boards. And I don't like Ouija boards because it's not evidence to me unless you see the planchette move by itself.
Right.
So
yeah.
Right.
So,
yeah. I got it work once. And okay, it's like, yeah, maybe the other person is faking it. I don't know. I kept thinking that. But like it just didn't make sense because the board, it was like weird because usually they're like smooth. They're like very like just like smooth, and the planchette moves like very easily, but this one was like very, how you say, like very not smooth. I don't know. Yeah, so you moved the planchette and made a sound like it was like very heavy to move,
rocks underneath.
so, right, so when it started moving, it felt like it was floating, like it didn't make a sound but it was moving, and it moved and I was barely touching it. And you can see, like, well, not in my video, but other person's video, like, you can see, like, we're not even touching it. It's just, like, moving. It's not making a sound. And I'm trying to, like, debunk it in my head. I'm like, how? Like, even if they are moving it, it still doesn't make sense. It's not making a sound, and it moves so smoothly. Because we had problem opening the board, like, moving it, because it was so heavy. And then all of a sudden, it's not heavy anymore. It's like, I will
say, I do love the aesthetic, though, of Ouija boards.
Oh, me too. That's why I got planchette.
Oh my god. Yeah, I have one right up there where
like I love the idea of them, and I love the look of them, and I love that it's kind of like symbolizes what we do and everything, try to communicate to the possible dead and stuff like that. I love the meaning behind them, but it's not I'm not a believer in them. If it's something does happen, I don't believe it's the board itself. I believe it's people, kind of like witches, where they do rituals and everything, and they have this power. I feel like they have power of belief and can maybe sometimes manifest things.
it's the same thing. Like some people say, "Oh, Ouija boards are evil." You're contacting like something. Da da da. It's like you're doing the same thing with like SP7, like spirit boxes. Like you're
Yeah.
literally contacting the dead. So it's literally the same thing. It's just different
Yeah,
methods. So it's
exactly.
like,
So when
how
people
is
say that,
one evil and one is not? Like, come
yeah,
on.
exactly. I agree with that. 100%.
Funny
Yeah.
because the history of the Ouija board, when we took a trip to Salem and we went to the Witchboard Museum, and we actually met the guy that owns the museum, and he was the one that gave us the tour. So we got the whole spiel, and it was amazing. I was in heaven in there. But like the fact that it was a children's toy, it literally came out to be a children's toy.
Literally, if you buy it, it says for 6 and up.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So, like,
There's so many
little
different
kids.
variations of it and
Like
different
summoning
styles.
demons.
They're made for girls. There's like Barbie ones, and like it's just it was a very interesting route that they took, and it's very funny to see that people are like, you contact the most evil and demonic spirits whenever you touch a Ouija board, but
Yeah, it's
then
like-
you go to Target and you see a Barbie one, and you're like,
They're Barbie demons, guys.
That must
God.
be the Barbie demon. That's the most dangerous one, guys.
I would be afraid of a Barbie demon.
I'm just a Barbie
Same. Oh my
demon
god,
living
just
in a
this
Barbie
pink,
demon world.
pink demon.
I wish I want an experience with the Ouija board. Maybe one day.
I've heard of good stories. That's why I'm like, if it works, I feel like it's the manifestation of the people being so afraid and believing in it. And then, like, like something like falls or thrown or something like that when they're doing it, stuff like that. I don't believe it's the Ouija board itself. I believe them being scared and then them believing it's real. And so, power of belief. I'm doing another documentary on a big social experiment. So you see that in the future. That's the
Hell
third.
yeah.
Ooh.
Yes. So there is one very interesting point that came. I don't know if you watched the live stream I did with Vince, urban investigator. I don't know how you say his last name. It's like Keelan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he made like an interesting point. Like maybe the spirits see things. Oh, how I wrote it down. So maybe like spirits, like there's like another how you say it, like dimension or something, like they live in their lives, we're living our lives here, and then they hear something and they're like, what was that? And it was us. So maybe we are their ghosts and then the other way around, and like maybe
That's like the movie The Others.
I was
Yeah,
literally just gonna say
yeah.
there is a couple of movies exactly based off of that.
So I'm sorry I can't find the right words to explain, but I hope you understood what I meant.
No, I
by
understood
that,
what you
but
said. And it's a
yeah,
movie.
that's very
I was getting
very
excited. I was like, I
interesting.
know this because one of our other investigators, Grace, we had a very long car
Pun
ride.
intended, Others.
We were talking about this in theory, and I brought that up, and she's like, that's a movie, and I'm like, what do you mean that's a movie? And she told me, and I looked it up, and it's exactly what I said. I was like, damn, someone got to that idea.
That'd be a good
Yep.
Christopher Nolan movie, though. Like a concept for a Christopher Nolan movie.
Mm-hmm.
That would be cool. Yeah, Christopher Nolan, like the Interstellar one, was really good. I really liked it. Yeah.
But what do you think about that theory, or how you view the paranormal, like the ghosts? Are they just here, or what is it?
I like that theory. I like that theory a lot, where it's like just kind of like that, where it just decides when it crosses at right place, right time.
Yeah, I like that theory. I do. I mean, if you want to know my theory, we can get into that.
I like your theory too. It's very sciencey.
So, again, I come from a very science background. I stopped believing in God, when I was very young, and that still stays true to this day. I don't believe in God. I don't believe in the devil. I don't believe in demons. I don't believe in angels. I don't believe in heaven or hell. It's all, to me, it's just all fiction. And that's just me. That's just my opinion. I don't have an issue with anyone else who believes otherwise. I don't.
You're respectful.
I respect other people's beliefs. So my theory, I believe that when we die, there is energy waves within our brain. And this was in an article recently where they found that there's electromagnetic waves in our brains, and that helps us function and helps us try to. I just did what you just did.
Yeah.
Helps us
Catching
function.
on.
It sends the receptors to each other to tell us what to do and to think and all of that stuff. And I believe when we die, those waves and that energy has to go somewhere. And
Mhm.
I believe those waves go into the atmosphere in that area and kind of get stuck there in a sense. And that's how those spirits, those waves are able to communicate with us during investigations. All of our equipment is based on waves in the electromagnetic spectrum. We use a spirit box, it's radio waves. We use an IR camera. If we're seeing orbs, which I'm not a huge orb person, but if there is a light anomaly of some sort, it's picked up in IR because it's all just waves.
Mhm.
So when people are like, "Oh yeah, it's draining my batteries," I think that might be those waves trying to snag that energy to manifest itself in a way, kind of
Yeah.
express those waves out into like radio waves and stuff like that, so it can talk to us through spirit boxes. So my kind of belief system is that these spirits are really just our brain waves, just
Mhm.
dissipated into.
What about consciousness?
I guess that's pretty much what it would be, right?
Well,
So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, it's like part of it, and it needs the energy to manifest and be intelligent and not
There's been
just
some scientific studies on
yeah.
consciousness
mhm,
and involving it being separate from the human mind, the brain, I should say, and so the physical brain, because of certain aspects of like NDE cases, near-death experience cases, where they actually are able to visually see. Like, there's been the doctor that was studying NDE cases, and he would put like screens that are facing upwards, and it will say certain things or show certain thing, and then when they come back, they would know because they are apparently hovering above them during this NDE case, and they could actually know what's on what it was that was on the screen. And the same with the reason why he started this experience was because of during one case he had someone that apparently saw this very specific shoe on the ceiling, not ceiling, sorry, the roof of the hospital, and it was and he or she, I can't remember, named the exact place where it was, and also in detail described the shoe. And sure enough, they went to go check, and it was up there exactly what they said. So there is a lot of NDE cases, and I was like, does that mean the consciousness is actually separated from the human brain? And so it's very intriguing, and goes towards the whole spiritual thing too. So
Mhm.
no, I
yeah.
love
Yeah,
that.
And that's
that's
kind of why I
interesting.
don't believe in demons as well. Is like because this theory, I mean, I don't see where demons fit in, and I'm not trying to be like, oh, well, this doesn't fit in my theory, so it doesn't exist. I mean, if we want to
Mhm.
talk about demons and possession and stuff like that, is it possible that those waves that are just stray from the mind is trying to get a new body for itself, so it knows I'm going to go into the head of this person and scramble their waves a little bit with mine, and
Yeah.
Mm.
maybe that's possession.
Yeah, what if like obviously there are evil people,
Yeah,
shitty people out there. So maybe all these evil spirits that people say, "Oh, that's a demon." And maybe it's just a very shitty person and
exactly.
they want to do something stupid like, get in your head and
this is the word thing when
yeah.
things get weird, though, is when it comes to being accurate with some of the some cases being very accurate with known possession cases from centuries and centuries of possession cases, and for some reason it continues, and also they are naming certain demonic names that not too many people know about. Everyone knows Lucifer, Satan, all that, but then they start naming something that's literally in my dictionary book of a lot of different demon names. There's hundreds of them, and then they claim to be this specific one. I find that interesting because it's not like public, like everyone knows what this entity is. Like tablet. Have you heard of the demon tablet? Not too many people have, and so it's like or Asmodeus, and so all these things like so the regular person. I think it's kind of weird for them to start naming a name, and some that wasn't religious, because there was another theory that, oh, it's only going to be religious people that have had possessions. But at the Monroe House investigation, that person was not religious when that person got possessed. I don't know if you heard about that story, but I have the audio to that. And then and then there's also another case that I'm editing an episode right now, and uh, this one was strange. It was creepy, actually. This one's the creepiest one I've actually been a part of for a case, which is the Reverend Akers case. And there's some certain situations of them calling themselves I am 7, which if you go look at a PRS case, there's an Etsy calling itself I am 6. It's a possession case. This person gets scratches all over her, literally writing on her in scratch form, and then claiming itself I am 6. And then I stumble upon a case that says I am 7, and that 2 possessions have taken place there, both possession cases, and they're claiming themselves to be a certain number. So it's like these weird things that collide with, okay, this is strange. This doesn't seem like a human thing to me. This seems like something
Well, I feel like,
weirdly to tradition, like
yeah.
weird traditional.
Yeah.
But there
activity.
is a lot of energy out there. Like people, we are energy. So like I don't think it's like far-fetched to think like there is other kinds of energy out there too. So maybe okay, I don't know, because part of me wants to believe in like demons and all that kind of stuff, and part of me is like very scientific. I'm like, well, is it though? So like I'm usually like agreeing with everyone with every opinion. Like people are like, don't you have your own
Yeah.
opinions? But it's like I literally I feel like everything makes sense in a way. Like I feel like all theories like
It's like
are
full
interesting.
circle.
Like we don't know, like that's the thing. Have an open mind. Like I'm very open-minded to hear like what the other people think, because the truth is we don't know. But
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, yeah, we don't know.
Kind of going back to like what Zach said and how you were saying with the energies, it's the law of conservation. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. So what happens when you go? That energy gets put back out there, and how you were saying people are shitty, if you're going to be shitty during your day-to-day life, you're probably not going to become a saint when you go,
Mhm.
So there's people
Yeah.
that hurt people for funsies, which is horrible to say, but there's people that are just out for
Yeah.
people just for their own
Like seriously,
entertainment.
spirits of like serial killers. Like what do you
Yeah.
think they're gonna do after they die? That's like
Exactly.
something I'm very interested, because I'm into true crime. Some people are like, "Oh, that's so insensitive to talk about stuff like that." I'm like, I'm obviously being respectful, but I'm curious.
Well, it helps
Like,
further like
I want to
scientific
know.
studies like that. People interested in true crime stuff helps further cases and to stop serial killers and catch up
I
on.
feel like paranormal and true crime walk hand in hand. Like they are related in a way. So I don't know. There's like this one case I work on right now. It's a true crime video, and it's gonna be multiple series, but it's also I know where the murder place is. It's very easily accessible. I can go there right now if I want to. So I'm like thinking about it, like I go to the spot and maybe do like a spirit box session or something. It's an outdoor location. um so I don't know, I feel like that's like a cool thing to kind of mix them up a little bit,
Mhm.
because that's what the Finnish paranormal investigation team Avet Data, who I actually interviewed on my channel, they made a video and they kind of mixed the true crime, told the story, and had interviews, and then in the end they did the paranormal investigation, and I thought that was so cool. So I'm gonna do something similar also.
Um,
Good.
oh, sorry, keep going.
Oh no, you're good. I was just saying like it's very interesting to do that because you get stuff that's relevant. I know we've experienced stuff that plays right into what has happened.
And because it's unsolved, the case was never sold, so you never know, like what if you get some answers. I mean, Ovid Data, they got some like answers. Obviously, you can't say like, okay, is it like actually? And obviously, that's not gonna hold in court. You know, it's like, oh, the spirit box said this. Well, you know, this must be it. Then, nah. But it's very like I'm so invested in this case. I'm like it went from okay, I'm just gonna tell about this thing, and it went from that to I'm actually going through every freaking article, every freaking uh like forum I can find where people talk and have like some evidence. I found letters, I found pictures, and
You have a
like
whole
I'm
web
so
page.
invested. Like I became like a like investigator, like how you call it, crime investigator, instead of like just doing a true crime video. Anyways,
Um,
I'm rambling. I'm sorry.
one other thing I wanted to mention when it came to the demonic stuff.
Yay, Tanya.
There's also the cases where these people that are possessed know other languages that they've never spoke before, and then also the person that they know a certain conversation you had with someone, or is there some traumatic things that happened to you that you only you know about, but the entity somehow knows you, like that.
Hmm.
That's the stuff that I when I hear about those possession cases, and then one of my possession cases I'm literally listening to right now. This entity seemed to remember a conversation that he had with Paul when he was alive,
Hmm.
and then if it actually like messed with him a bit because he just got aggressive. He actually started fighting him, and during this case, like I mean, during this possession episode that this guy was having, he was laughing the whole time, like in a creepy way, laughing the entire time. He was like taking him, like apparently his strength level was like insane too, and he put him to the ground and was laughing the whole time. It was extremely creepy. If you hear this audio, it's going to be my next episode, and I'm thinking about posting the entire audio piece as a separate video because that's going to be a little too long for the episode itself.
Do
This
it.
is an hour long audio piece, so
Do it.
it's not been released
I
to the
want to hear
public.
it.
Yeah,
I want
do
to hear
it.
it. I want to hear it.
It's weird. It's definitely weird. But yeah, basically those type of reasons why I'm like, okay, this is strange and fucking weird. Like, how do these people know these other languages they never knew? Like even Latin, which is basically a dead language.
Yeah.
And so it's like, how are they knowing these things? I only know a little bit of Latin. I can
Yeah.
definitely not speak it fluently.
And it
So-
That's
makes
actually my
makes
next
wonder.
question.
I'm sorry, real quick. Makes you
Yes.
wonder though, like, is it a demon or is it something from another religion that is more accurate to what it is? You know what I mean?
But
Like-
then how do they get their personal information about the person unless they somehow
Right,
know
but
these
there's other things in other religions that Christianity calls a demon that might be something else.
Oh yeah.
No, so
No,
it's
no,
like,
I'm not saying when I say demon, I don't. I'm not gonna say it's 100% a Christian thing. I'm saying it's more of like an evil like entity that might not be human, and so that I don't know what that would be though.
Yeah, and the only thing I would think is like they can just kind of, if you're thinking about traumatic experiences in your head too, maybe getting in your head. But also, I know we've come across like spirits that spoke in different languages, and we've caught that a couple of times. So I don't know. It's so hard to tell. There's like
Yeah.
it's just so open, and I don't think. Hopefully, maybe one day we'll get down to the bottom of this. I know it probably won't happen in our lifetime, but maybe one day. Maybe we're
Yeah.
hanging out on
I
the
don't
other
know if we're ever gonna get the answer of ghosts or anything, but I do think we'll get the answer. I mean, paranormal phenomena in itself, I think sometimes can be maybe we can find answers to some of that. Like I've seen and captured objects moving on their own. Like it's like we know the phenomena happens, but how does it happen?
Yeah.
Is the thing.
Yeah.
And-
definitely not in
and-
our lifetime.
Yeah, I don't know. So maybe finding that part out, maybe, but not the whole ghost thing. I don't think it's going to be possible. I don't know. I'm not 100%. Maybe in like 300, 400 years from now, where our sciences are so advanced that we figured things out about our own human soul. That'd be interesting. But as of right now, I'm leaning more towards, especially where how the paranormal is today. It's going in the wrong direction.
Sure is.
It's
Oh yeah.
it's all about entertainment, especially how it is on YouTube right now.
Mhm.
Jesus.
and that's the biggest issue. I think the best right now in the paranormal field, when it comes to doing things right, is Justin Brown. Go check him out. His name, his channel is called Interface Death. He, I think, is doing the paranormal right, and he's an extremely intelligent guy. I actually learned a lot of his ways by just listening to some of the stuff he says, and then I do my own research, and then basically come up with the same conclusions. We're actually, him and I are like the most similar when it comes to the paranormal, what we believe in. The only difference is that I'd like to make things into also film art. So
I'm the same way. You know, I do care about the investigation aspect and, like, you know, getting some answers, or, you know, testing theory and stuff and doing different experiments. But at the end of the day, I also like to, like, you know, make a cool video. You know, people can,
exactly,
you know,
like, I know that because Justin Brown, he does his editing in a very, like, he doesn't do it like how I do. I do a horror type vibe. I don't know. I know that it is entertainment when it comes to that aspect, when it comes to horror style. But when it comes to the research aspect, he only cares about that specifically in his videos and what he's trying to do. So I recommend go follow him. I feel like mine will reach more to the masses on TV when it comes to horror. I think people love horror, love being scared, and I feel like if you want to get a message out, maybe that's the best way of doing it. And I just love editing that style because I'm a big horror fan. So
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there was this one question related to the whole language thing. How you do you think like spirits can understand multiple languages? Like, for example, like in Finland, I feel like I can still get responses in English, and sometimes in America, I can get answers in Finnish. I've been thinking like, okay, maybe it's like I have like a Finnish attachment or something, but like I don't know. It's very interesting theory. A lot of people talk about it. Um, like there's no like how you call it language barrier when it comes to paranormal. Like they can interact with you with whatever language is available. For example.
yeah. I mean, I like she said, we've gotten some things come through where it's not speaking English, and I only know a little bit of French and a little bit of Spanish, and that's about it. So, you know, that just for me, that's I'm like, all right, can we speak English, please? Like, help us out here. So
I
I
think
mean,
they know.
yeah,
I think they know, and if they want to communicate with you, they're going to communicate in something that they know you're going to understand. Obviously, they're not going to start like blabbing at you in a different language that you're not trying to communicate with them through, you know?
unless they're trying to be funny.
Unless they're trying to be funny, unless they're trying to like pull your
Right.
leg, or maybe it could be like an indication being like, hey, and besides them being like, oh, like I speak this language, just saying it, them like actually saying a word to give an indication. Or it could, like, you don't know how many of them are there. It could just be one spirit not being able to communicate, and they just say their one word, and then they step back, you know, they make their presence known, and that's all they can do. Like, I don't know. It's just so hard and loose, like, for everything. Like, it can be so many different options and variants and stuff.
So, have you ever run into like funny spirit, like some spirit that has sense of humor? Like it's just hilarious.
Yeah,
Oh,
I would
yeah.
say so. There's been a couple.
Just in the most recent video, it said to make him mad.
Yeah, there's been some that are
I was
funny.
like, okay.
There was
Sassy.
I will say that the Jericho video, you can see some personalities come out in some of those spirits. They did not like her at all.
No.
Oh,
They hated me
Jericho is it's a convent, so full of nuns, you know, full of religious people, and she has piercings and tattoos and colored hair, and
Sides
everyone
of my
else,
head shaved, like
everyone else, no tattoos, no piercings, really. You know, she's the one that kind of stands out, and they were going after her. It was pretty funny,
oh
actually.
no.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. They were like saying like the girl with the red hair. This was over like a Estes session. They were like the girl with the red hair. She's the C word, you know. Like they were like,
Oh
Jeez.
they were
my
going after
god.
her. Yeah.
God
I
damn.
was actually one thing I want to ask. I'm just assuming I could be wrong, but are you guys in a relationship, right?
Yep.
Okay.
4 years in November, back in November. So 5 years
Okay.
this year. Yeah.
So when it comes to investigating, does that affect any aspects, like when it comes to a negative location? How do you did you do things differently? I know you guys don't believe in demonic, I guess. So I don't know if like, have you seen anyone get attacked before though?
I mean, I've
Verbally, I guess.
verbally attacked,
Verbally.
yes. And
Um,
like maybe some upset tummies and just odd feelings and not
Yeah.
like looking so hot. But I mean, like,
yeah.
I know we look at each other and be like, "You good?" And then if we're not
Yeah.
good, we'll be like, "Hey,
We don't
you know."
when it comes to investigations, we don't use protection at all. I don't, at least.
Sorry, that just sounds. I'm a child. I'm such a child. I'm sorry.
That's why when it comes to investigations.
I know. Stop. I don't either. Even
Yeah.
though I do the whole witchcraft thing, I don't believe in putting protection on because I think that could hinder activity levels.
I agree. I'm the same way.
So,
I don't like doing protection unless
Oh my
Stop!
You're laughing about it makes it worse.
unless
I'm
I feel like, but I had never. The thing is, I had like this weird. When it comes to this certain locations, like things don't go after me ever. It's always people around me. Sometimes I've actually witnessed someone getting knocked out. I've witnessed people get scratched. I've witnessed like just people being affected negatively in certain locations. But I've never been the one that was on the receiving end, even when I'm the one provoking. So it's
Yeah.
But
it's
that's the thing. They don't want to like. You're like scratch me. They're like, no. They're gonna scratch someone. Like
yeah. They
wanna get
scratched
rise
Elena.
I don't want to get scratched. you know?
Helena got scratched in a future video coming out. And that was her first time.
How was it?
It was, yeah, I don't know. Like first I was like, maybe I scratched, I was just trying to like tell myself it's nothing, but
Mhm.
it was weird.
It was weird because here's the thing. When you get scratched, like a normal scratch, it's a stinging sensation, isn't it?
hmm
Like a burn.
And yeah, and it started
You
burning,
get a
like
burn?
it was
No,
like
I
a
don't get a burn.
burn
When I get
It depends on
or
what scratch.
sting. Like it felt like there was like a
So-
needle on my back, and I was like, what was that? And then I did this, and then he told me to stop. And I'm like, what? And then he looked my back, and there was like, how many? Was it like two?
It was
They were
like 3, I think. So
three.
you had
Yeah.
three-ish scratches. It was all over the place. But at the same time, when you do this, you're
Mhm.
not doing where you're scratched. It was all
I
the way
know.
up here.
I
It
don't
was
even
up
have
here.
nails.
Yeah, it was up on her neck area.
Mhm.
And then when I see her do this, even in the video, because you're going to see in the video, she does this. This is how far her hand goes back. It wasn't even the right area. It was literally on the back of her neck right here.
Yeah.
So she could have done it if she did it this way, but she didn't do that. She did it this way.
But
So
the
it was-
way the scratches looked, they were like sharp. They're not like something you do because I tested.
yeah,
I scratched my hand and it was like
it
nothing.
doesn't
I
look like
tried like
fingernail
do
scratches.
everything. It's just I couldn't like recreate that like in any way.
I
So
actually had a case, and that when it came to scratches, I actually tested it myself because this one woman, it was a client case. She got 3 scratches on her back. They're very thin, very, very thin scratches. And it didn't look natural to me. I was like, okay, that's weird. So I tested this on myself. I did fingernail scratches. I did a paper clip and a knife. Scratch myself. None of them looked like her scratches. And in all 3 ways, the fingernails are too thick, and the paperclip slash knife were both too. They kind of like spread. It's actually a little cut. It's not actually raising like how the actual scratches are. It almost looks like an allergic reaction, but they're scratches. It's weird
Yeah.
because it raises the skin instead of actually cutting into it sometimes. And I thought that was weird because that's how hers looked like. That's how like a lot of other cases I've done when I see people get scratched looks like. And they also always complain about a burning. For me personally, when I get a scratch, I never felt a burning. I've always felt a sting. That's just me. But yeah, for them it's always a burning sensation, like it's super hot. And I was like, that's interesting. And yeah, so one of them looked like a burn mark, which is Dante. Oh, by the way, the place she got scratched at, 2 times I've been there, 2 other people have been scratched. And then I even told her about it before she got scratched. I was like, if can you please scratch again? And I was saying to me, and then she was playing around and saying like, yeah, scratch me too. And then she didn't mean that. And
Yeah,
then
because
she was
literally
scratched.
after I said, yeah, scratch me too. And I was like, please don't. I was actually kidding. And literally almost right after, it was like, ding. I was like,
Yep.
ow, what was
Right.
Yeah.
that? And
Find out, I guess.
Yeah,
God
she
damn
got
it.
scratched
He's
like
like
an hour
serious.
later.
He's like asking seriously about it. And then I was just like jokingly, yeah, scratch me. Don't scratch
And then
me.
it scratched her, of course, because I'm the one that actually wanted it, not her.
That
That's
would
how it goes.
that would
That's
literally
how it
be
always
us,
goes.
probably. That would
Oh
Yeah.
my God. So have
Yeah.
you guys ever been like physically attacked? No? Like scratched or anything?
No, I mean I've asked. I've asked for years. Like come on, just
I feel
tell
like
me.
if you
Like
ask for it, it's not gonna happen.
probably
No.
not. I will say like the only thing physical that I could think of, and it wasn't even physical, but it was just something more like I asked and I finally got what I was looking for. Um, was at the
Oh.
Velisca X Murder House, and Ethan Wolf Paranormal was there. If he's still in chat, shout out to him. We were doing isolations. Our isolations are basically just solos, so we go in wherever we're going by ourselves for 15, 20 minutes and investigate by ourselves for a little bit. And I was in the house at the Velisca X Murder House in the living room, sitting on the couch. I could see the back door where you enter from the couch, and I was sitting there doing an EVP session, and I asked about the killer. Next thing you know, the back door just swings open. And I was just like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Like
The door just opened.
yeah, I've been asking like for years in that house. Like, 'cause I've been there multiple times. Like, just open a door, slam a door, open a door. I don't care. Do something, right? And it's like
Mhm.
I finally got that to happen.
Wow.
And it was terrifying. I just walk in, I'm like, hey guys, like the back door just opened. And they came from the barn into the house, and it was just
We were
And you
already on our way because I heard it from the
Yeah,
barn.
because it opened like hard, like you hear it opening. But what's
Was it
weird?
windy?
What was that?
Was it windy that day?
It was on and off, but we made sure that door was shut.
Yeah,
'cause
the latch.
we
Okay, I was just curious.
it shut.
The latch was you could see in the video. I have a video of them pulling it shut, and then in the recording, you hear the doorknob, like you hear like the latch,
Like
like you
The-
know, like when you like open a door,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
the
yeah.
latch noise.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
the
Okay.
screen
Wow.
door didn't move at all.
yeah, the screen door was solid.
Yeah.
So
I thought someone walked in on him because I was ready to like throw some hands on some stranger trying to invade some private space, because
Yeah.
you never know. People would be walking in there whenever they tried to, at least. So I thought he was in danger. So I got up. I was like, guys, the door is open. We gotta
Oh
go.
my God.
And he was just hanging
That's
out on the
funny.
couch.
I was just on the, I
Yeah,
was
just
still on the
hanging
couch,
out.
sitting there, just like the door
Everything
just
is okay.
opened.
Everything is fine. Oh
That-
no.
I've
So
been
what is
recently doing. Sorry, what I was talking about Helena. Like recently, been trying to do what I like to do, which is handcuffing inside
Oh
the
my God.
building and leave them
No, but
leave
that
them
is
alone.
old Washoe Club.
Yep.
Oh God.
She was
I
so
was
scared of old
so
Washoe.
scared. Like I don't know why. I've never been that scared in my entire life. And I wasn't there even that long. And I was so scared. um but yeah, what is like the best paranormal evidence you ever got?
The door opening, that's like
That's a pretty solid one.
Did you
Did
Did you
capture it
get
on
it on
camera?
camera?
Did not capture on
That's
camera.
the only
When I grabbed the camera, like I picked, so like I had a camera facing me. So here's, oh my God, dude, I felt so stupid. So I had one camera on me, and I had one camera facing into the kitchen where you could actually see the door. And last minute before I started my isolation, I decided, you know what? I'm not vibing with that kid's room right there. I'm gonna face it towards the kid's room. Yeah. And so when I
Oh,
got
wow.
up from the couch to try to capture the door opening, I turned around, and my dumbass decided to do like a 360 turnaround.
Like the opposite
I was
direction.
like freaking out because I'm like, this door just fucking opened. I'm like, I'm sorry for swearing on here.
No, it's
okay.
fine.
Okay.
You can swear.
I'm like, this door just opened. So I did like a 360 and then I like faced it at the door and you could see the door kind of like swaying a little bit, like it bounced off the stove right there, or what, I think it's maybe a cabinet. Like it bounced off the cabinet and you can like kind of see it, like just the tail end of it stopping. So
Yeah.
did not get it on camera. You can hear it very clearly, but yeah.
Yeah.
So
God damn.
haters will
That's
say it's
pretty
fake.
cool.
But
But you
but-
know,
I
you
guess.
know
I-
that it's not. Yeah.
Always.
anything
That's
else?
always.
It always has to be like that when you turn off the cameras, when you pack up, shit goes crazy.
I mean, we
Mhm.
trying to think best evidence.
It's not coming out yet.
I want the one tomorrow or not tomorrow.
No, after that.
Cut something better is what you're trying to say.
Yes. And on camera.
Oh, the one I'm editing right now.
Yes.
Yeah. So I can talk about that.
Because that got posted.
That got
already.
posted. There's this place called Bill Manor in Fremont, Ohio. It's it was like a mansion that got turned into like an orphanage kind of.
Yeah,
And
children's home kind of thing.
The only reason why I could talk about this is because a clip of it was already posted. We did a podcast with What Goes Bump in the Night. So they got to see it. It was on their podcast. Basically, we were on the 3rd floor, all the way up in the attic. We were all together and we were doing an Estes session. And they had one of those lights up there. It was plugged into the wall. And it's one of those lights where it's like an octopus almost, where it's like those arms.
5.
Yeah, it has like those arms that
kind of like that.
the Spider-Man Octavius guy. Like they, so it has those lights on
outta
it,
here.
and then, like the switch on it is like one of those rotator switch where it has to click. You know?
Yeah.
And we had it off. We had the flashlight going. It was going a lot, so we were like, all right, whatever. We'll just let it go. We'll just let the flashlight just go. We're gonna keep doing our thing.
You can't really tell. Oh no, you can't tell. Oh no. Hold on. Brightness too bright. Maybe.
That's your
Wait,
settings.
That's my settings. Haha.
I'm gonna do this.
You can kind of see it.
Like one of those lights, kind of like that.
Okay.
Okay.
those.
Yeah.
And like the arms like move and stuff like that. But no, so we were just up there, you're getting responses, and it was coming through like saying that basically it was charging up. And we were like, interesting. Like it was like more energy, need more energy, charging up and stuff like that. Next thing you know, that light turns on. And we're like, okay. So we stop, we go over there and we like start messing with it. We turn it off and we turn it on. We twist it one more time and only one light comes on. Twist it again, 3 lights come on. Twist it again, all 5 come on. The thing is when it turned on for us, it wasn't just one light. It wasn't just 3 lights. It was all 5 of them. And nobody was by that light. It was plugged in. We had it off. And it just all 5 of those lights turned on.
No
and you
click sound.
You have to go like 3 times over to even get to those 5 lights.
Wow.
And we even tried. We were like clapping like this, like is it like a clap on, clap off type thing? But like nothing was happening. Like it was the craziest thing.
It was weird.
So,
Because apparently there was some bad vibes over in that area from like where 2 of our investigators were. They had like a straight view down the stairs too, and they thought they were seeing something over there. And so it was a nice come together. I feel like that was pretty nuts though. We all honestly were just so phased. We were all just like, we stopped. It got quiet. We looked at each other and we're like, the light just turned on. And
yeah, we spent like 10 to 20 minutes trying to debunk it up there. And then like we took a break, did some more investigating. And then we went back up there at the end of the night, tried doing it again. We couldn't figure it out. So
is that something you do like on investigations? Like try to debunk if something happens?
Yeah, absolutely.
I do the same. Like I call myself party pooper. You know, everyone else is like, "Oh my god, that was so cool," and I'm like, is it though?
No, I agree.
But I always do that. Yeah,
that's the way you have to, though.
I know. Like, if you want real paranormal evidence, it's like not everything is paranormal. Okay, guys. Like paranormal
This demon.
Capture a paranormal is very rare.
It's always a demon.
It's always a demon.
Yeah. It's always a demon. Everything is a demon.
Yes.
Yep.
Always.
Barbie demons. Okay.
Barbie
The Barbie.
demons.
Barbie demons. Hell yeah. So earlier you said, I think it was you, Zach, you said something about like a voice recorder, like you use those in investigations. Is there like a specific voice recorder you like to use?
I mean, I have a couple. I've been using this Olympus recently.
Mhm.
So that's the one that I've mostly been using. And then there's one that one of our other investigators just bought. It kind of does similar to what a DR60 does in the sense that it like it only starts recording when it hears a voice.
Yeah.
So we've been trying to
Mm.
mess with that, but honestly, we tried both settings on it to where it records the whole thing and when it records with voice, and we've only caught an EVP when it's recording with the full thing. So
Out of curiosity, is it the Panasonic QR80?
I'll have to ask her because I don't know 100%. She just got it like last month, I think. So
Yeah.
it's like a newer one that you'd get on like Amazon.
Oh, it's newer. Okay,
Yeah,
never mind.
it's newer. Yeah.
Mm.
And then in terms of like we use like the Zoom digital recorders, but that's mainly
Yeah,
for,
yeah. Zoom and Tascam.
yeah. I mainly like I've been using those mostly for like interview stuff. You know, I have the ones that has the I think it's XLR cables, right? Am I saying the right term? I always confuse DSL or
Yes.
whatever.
Yeah. Yes.
Whatever, you know, the terminology I don't give a fuck about, but you know,
Yeah.
I use those for like the interviews with the shotgun mics and stuff. So I also occasionally break those out for EVPs.
Or enhanced
Mhm.
hearing too.
Enhanced hearing is another good one we use with those.
Cool.
Yeah, I like
Have you
using
ever
high
got
quality.
any?
Sorry. Keep going.
Yeah, have you ever got any good EVPs?
Not with the Zooms, and I don't know why we haven't gotten stuff with the Zooms yet, but
I know why. Here's the reasoning why most EVPs happen. It's because people that are using low quality recorders are going to differentiate, have different sounds. So, for example, low quality recorder, have a perfect example on the Harrisville haunting that I didn't put it in the documentary. But whenever you make a thrustle sound with your jacket or whatever, it's going to have a whispery sound with low quality recorders. It sounds like a whisper when it's not. It's just a normal sound.
Yeah.
But it's such bad audio that it's not readable to understand that it's just a jacket movement. The Zoom recorder is very high quality audio. So every small little movement you make and everything is going to sound like what it is, a jacket or your feet.
And that's why whenever I review the audio and like when I'm editing the video, I sync the audio of us recording to the wide angle shot that I have. So that way I can see if there's anybody moving during an EVP that we capture.
Yeah.
So
cross-checking.
Yeah,
that's also very important. And I cross-checked all of those. Eric, he's a friend of mine, but he uses a lot of low quality recording. And so I've debunked 99% of all of his EVPs just based off of going back, cross-checking. And I was like, yep, there it is. Right when he moves his jacket and everything, and it sounded like a whisper on his low-quality recorder. So I debunk it. There's only one that he captured that I couldn't debunk. And
I've done the same thing with all investigations I've done. Basically, like, yeah, the other person is like, oh yeah, that's a EVP right there, and then I cross-check and the audios and shit, and I'm like, no, it's not. So literally my videos, like I posted finally, it took me forever to get them out, but it's literally me just debunking everything that happened. So
are you talking about
sorry guys.
Eric Connor?
Yeah, Eric Connor. He's a friend of mine. He's a cool guy.
He's a good guy.
Good guy, but he uses a lot of he does things that I don't like doing, but that's fine. Everyone has their own thing.
No, right.
Yeah,
he has a lot of good equipment though. He's like a collector, and it's pretty.
Yeah. He has the gateway thing too, which we used in the documentary. It was actually accurate at one point. It was in the documentary. I don't know if you watched it at all, the Harrisville haunting.
I have not. No, actually,
question for you, Emily.
I can't see what it says.
It says,
do you own a Victorian porcelain doll?
I may have growing up, but not currently now. No. But there was probably one in my house because my grandma was an antique dealer and she always decided to give me all the fun little doodads here and there, dolls. weird.
That's why
so-
your house was haunted.
You know what? That sounds about right. They brought back all these like cool antique things from Bolivia too, and like anytime like she went out of the country. So I mean, you know what?
Hmm.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah,
I
because
just
they
made that
actually,
connection.
because they can see. I think they have like some gifts, so I think that's why they were asking. So maybe there's. Oh yeah, there's the
That is
demon sex doll.
I love that. That is so cute.
It is. It's a
Adorable.
dominatrix one too. What the heck?
I love that. That's so cute. Spooky and cute.
Hello, hello. What was I about to say? So what do you think about like can the spirits go into like objects like dolls? Like do you believe in that?
Okay, so I never believed in attachments until I came face to face. No, I'm just kidding.
I was waiting for it. I was
Damn it. No, just because your name's Zach that's spelt that way, don't be Zach.
But it's kind of true though. I never really believed in attachments until I actually experienced one myself. You know, I have objects in my room, as you can see. Though everything that you see on that shelf is pretty much from a haunted place for the most part. I have a doll here that just one. I've collected a lot of dolls over the time, and there's only one that I've really been able to communicate with. Attachments, yeah, that kind of came up in November of last year, not 2023, but 2022. We went to a place called Malvern Manor in Iowa, and it's supposed to have a connection to the Villisca Axe Murder House. And I had been to the Villisca Axe Murder House multiple times throughout my career. It's actually the third place I ever investigated. So, you know, I have a lot of history with it.
Mhm.
And we went to Malvern, and there's that connection. We were getting like Villisca responses coming through, and like kind of those coincidence responses about Villisca when we asked about it. But then it started saying my name, started calling me out, started saying stuff to me. And I like the first time I was at Villisca, I mean, no, the second time I was at Villisca, there was this moment of I felt like I was in danger, and it was a feeling that I hadn't felt ever. And I didn't feel that feeling for a very long time until we went to Malvern Manor and we were upstairs asking about the killer. We were asking if the killer stayed here before he went and killed those people. And that sense of danger arose again. I felt like I was in danger, and I'm like, all right, like I just need to take a break and let's come back up here and deal with this, because I'm like, I haven't felt this way since my second time to Villisca, and I don't feel good right now. So we took a break, we came back up, and again, saying my name and all that. But then after that, the investigations following that, besides Bell Mansion, because Bell Mansion is just such a positive place. You know, we go to the Davies house, we go to Blackford County Jail, we go to all these different places. All of these places start saying my name. My name starts coming through and different media uses, devices, whatever you want to call it, right? And it always confirms itself by saying the word more or the word axe. And Moore's was the ones that got killed at the Villisca murder house, and he used an axe to do it. So it was just this continuous cycle of having these responses come through. And I finally realized, all right, you know, I don't believe in mediums. Let's go see a medium about this. So I saw a medium. We had booked our next investigation at Villisca with Ethan because Ethan was having a similar situation. His attachment from Villisca, that he believes is from Villisca, started up at the same time mine did, November. And it was kind of weird. So like we're like, let's just go to Villisca together. Let's just go do it together. So that's what we did. And you know, a week before we went to Villisca, I went and saw a psychic, and I don't believe in psychic mediums. I don't. It's just, again, I just don't. There's been some to
Okay.
prove me a little wrong, I guess, because they've guessed some things that are, yeah. But this one told me, and I told her no information about what was going on. You know, she told me that there is an entity attached to me. It's this tall black figure, kind of smoky in a sense, and there's 2 children with it. And she was explaining that it seems like it's from like this farm almost. And the Velisca house is kind of like a farmhouse, you know. So
Mhm.
she said that it's been with me for a long time. She said it's been with you since I would say 15. Well, 15 was the year. That's how old I was when I went to the Velisca X murder house the second time. That first time I felt like I was in danger there. And it was just, it's so
Wow.
weird. And I think that it's Reverend George Kelly, you know, the killer. Um, so I don't know. He comes through, he responds to Reverend, he responds to George. Um,
He's a homie.
he's
at
a
this
homie at this
point.
point.
He's
Haven't
respectful.
I haven't tried to get rid of him because I have no interest in it. I want to know more about it. How does this work? You know?
Mhm.
Why you
So
hanging
Yeah.
out?
yeah, why are you hanging out? And he
Yeah,
leaves
why
me
are you
alone at
hanging
home.
out?
He leaves me alone at home. He doesn't bother me.
He
So-
did help us out test the SB7 Pro though.
Yeah, there was that one. So when we got the SB7 Pro,
we
I
started it up in here.
yeah, we started it up, and I'm like,
George.
hey George, you here? And it just goes, hello. We're like,
Yeah.
Oh.
Babe, remember that we got that at the Monroe house where it was just clear as day. It's like, hello. When you said something,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
like,
It's
it was
so
like, hello.
Oh, hello. Oh my gosh, that's cool. Well, it's a good thing. Like, it's nothing negative, I guess.
I mean, an ex murderer, but you know, it's fine.
I
It's
think-
fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's not affecting
What do you
your
mean?
life.
What do
Even
you
when
mean
you went
nothing
to
negative?
when you went to the psychic medium, she said like it kind of was feeding on that, but like you kind of
Yeah,
stood your ground.
I went to another medium after we went to Velisca, and she said the same thing about there being a tall black figure with 1 child, though. She didn't say 2 children. She said 1 child. And this psychic medium had no clue anything about me. She was like one from like Paraflix, I think.
Mhm.
So Paraflix wants nothing to do with me. I declined their offer, so I was, you know, they want nothing to do with me.
Yeah, I did too.
So probably I won't get into it. So yeah, no, it was interesting, and both of them said that this tall dark entity has been feeding off of my like depression and anger, and but it seems like I have a lot of control over it. So yeah,
That's a good thing. Like, you're strong. Like, you're not letting it, like, I don't know, take
think
over.
Not
Because
giving
I
it
had like that
power.
happen to me. Like, I had this dark like entity follow me for a long time, and it did affect my mental health a lot.
Mhm.
And it's so weird. Like, you know, I was like, at first I was like, I didn't believe like, oh, we actually got rid of it. You know, I was like, yeah, right. You know, but like, I actually felt like how much easier it was to breathe and just live. You know, like in that moment, I was like, oh, maybe it was something, because I did see it. You know, a few times, like corner of my eye. I'm like, hello, and this tall, creepy shadow figure is standing in a corner. Yeah, it's just so weird. Like, you just kind of get used to it.
You
Mm.
make friends with it, and honestly, I think that's
Yeah.
kind of like the approach we went was making friends, and he has accepted it, and he's like, you know what, can't really dick with them.
he doesn't have a choice.
Hmm.
He
so-
doesn't have a
He
choice.
doesn't have a
just don't like-
choice.
We
I just
forced
don't-
friendship on him.
Forced friendship. Hmm.
I just
I like
invite
that.
all the spirits to follow me home.
Hmm.
Yeah, you know what? And that's one of the things I've been asking for a long
Babe,
time.
when we're gonna live together, I'm gonna make you sleep in the haunted shed we're gonna have, or the haunted items.
Yeah, so
Literally.
we were talking about this, well, because I'm in the Marine Corps right now, so we're kind of waiting until after I get out, and like I have 2 years left, and so we're like, we're gonna get a house, we're gonna get a shed, and we're gonna put all of my haunted items in it, and keep building the collection, like our own little museum, and then so it's gonna be our haunted shed, and so yeah, and every single time I'm at an investigation, I was like, please follow me home. I want to
Please
bring my
follow
work
me into
home
the
with me.
haunted shed, not in home. Before I forget, so the doll feeling may be coming from you, Zach.
I do have quite a bit of dolls. I have a lot of dolls in my collection.
They say, can you show
I
me the
do have
doll,
the
please?
porcelain
She
one.
is coming very strong, but which one?
I
Which
have 2 porcelain dolls that I could think of, and they are not in my room, and I might have to like, uh, I guess dig them out.
What about the little girl with the hair?
I think that's
Did she get put away?
yeah, I think I put her away. The only doll, you want to grab him real quick?
Who, Robert?
Yeah. The only doll that I have that I've gotten like interaction with, his name is Robert. And what was weird was when I got him, my mom got him for me, and she is like, "Hey, I found this at a garage sale," and I was like, "Zach would love this," and I'm like, "Oh, thanks, mom, I appreciate it." And I put him in my room, and I'm like, I was just hanging out one day, and I was just like, you know what? Let's bring an Ovilus out real quick. Popped on the Ovilus, and I was like,
Oh
what's your
my.
name? And right away through the Ovilus, it said Robert. So we were like,
Uh-oh.
this is Robert.
Wait, let's do it like
Um,
this. There we go.
So yeah, this is Robert.
Hi,
He's a
Robert.
ventriloquist dummy, and
isn't that the same doll from the movie?
Goosebumps.
Yeah, was it
Oh, Dead
Goosebumps? Yeah.
Silence.
Silence. That's what. Yeah, Dead Silence. Yep, that was it.
but I can't remember the name of the brand, but this is like from a old like TV show. This one in particular, they made them for like kids to buy so they could have their own at home.
He had a monocle.
I think it was like in the 60s or something like that. So 60s or 70s, somewhere around that time. And we got that name through the Ovilus, and I was like, all right, that's cool. Well, during conventions, we bring him with. We're like, you know what? We're going to bring him with. So we bring him to conventions. We brought him to the Bell Mansion, and we were setting up our booth early and everything. And 2 of the staff members came out, and we were talking with the owners of the Bell. And the 2 staff members they're like, can we take him like with us real quick? And I'm like, sure, just bring him back. So they took him, and they did a Ouija board session with him. Again, not a Ouija board person, but they didn't know his name. I never really post about him. They got the name Robert through the Ouija board, and
Do you know about the actual Robert the doll?
I know about him.
Yeah.
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 I'm not trying
What
to
do you
copy
think
that,
about
I
that?
promise you. Like,
That's what it did say over the Ovilus.
yeah, it did say over the Ovilus. So I mean,
Out of
Mhm.
respect.
so we call him Robert the Dummy instead. But
Sweetheart.
but yeah, the people said that he was described at the Bell Mansion because it looks like one of my ex at the Bell
Don't
Mansion.
laugh.
That's
They
low key funny.
they had like a medium there that described him as being looking like he's from the 80s, blonde hair. What did she say? Like kind of like Hawaiian shirt with shorts.
It was like a plaid kind of
Oh my
like.
gosh,
yeah.
Ace Ventura. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, right.
It was like they described him as like 80s, had glasses, kind of like formal but more laid back with a flannel and like tan pants.
Something like that. Yeah. I
Seemed-
can't remember exactly.
Seemed
what
just
she
kind of
said.
more laid back, but still kind of had that business casual kind of vibe to him. So
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Water
Very
Horse says, I think a female spirit, spirit, I can't speak, spirit is attached to him. Okay.
Roberta.
Yeah, it's
God
possible.
Could be a
Roberta.
It could be a
Roberta.
Roberta. I don't know.
Right.
She thinks a female spirit is attached to him. It's actually she's attached to the ex. Just kidding.
Oh.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, but we have a couple here with some history to them. I have some of them put away right now because I just don't have the space to have them out, unfortunately. So
I like the short black haired one. The biggest one we have.
oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, we have some that like have been through they've been through like house fires and stuff like that, and like
Oh.
yeah, they're interested.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I used to be terrified of dolls, like actually like scared. but like I don't know. I was so much around dolls, I just got used to it, and now I have two dolls myself. I don't know if they're haunted or not.
Mm.
They're cool. So I remember when I bought them, I was still like scared. I was like, I don't know if I want to touch that. So I remember I took it like this. I was like, I just walked to how do you call it? Like I went to pay for them. I was like, yeah, okay. And then I just took them like this and walked away. And but I don't know. Now I'm just like holding them like no problem. And I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah,
It's just
remember, babe, when I had those dolls right next to my bed?
oh yeah,
I'll
it
sleep right
didn't
next to
bother
me.
me. I literally I was holding the freaking demon doll. Like, is it like was it like used in like some rituals or something? What did she say? Like like the
Yeah,
history
two
with
of my
the
dolls were used in rituals. I have another one.
That's fun.
Yeah,
that's fun.
very fun. I have another one I can tell you.
Stay, Robert may fall.
I hope he doesn't fall.
Make sure he doesn't fall.
Yeah,
Wait,
but
what?
we have quite the collection. So
Oh my. I want haunted dolls, but I'm also like scared. Oh yeah. What? There you go.
This one has an old smell to it. Like smells bad.
I know what you mean. Oh, that's creepy.
Yeah.
I don't want to look it in the eyes. I don't know why.
Look
Oh
at
my
it.
god.
Look at
I
it.
can't. Oh.
And
But
then
no, it's cool. I really like it. Looks
I
very
like this
interesting.
one.
Ooh.
Oh my god. That I wasn't prepared.
I wasn't
I love
Be
it.
like, boo!
Oh.
And then it came with this, so another language.
cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool one. Like, so the collection's gonna build, but
What was that?
Always.
I think it was Emily. I hope it was Emily.
Huh?
It just
you heard a
sounded
voice?
it was like it sounded like a female voice, but directly at a microphone, like it was very close, like he something like that. And I was like, it sounded like you, Emily, but like I don't know where your microphone is. Like is it like
It's kind of right in front of her.
It is.
yeah.
I mean, also we did have the
Maybe,
cat.
but it was like louder than like you're speaking now. I just heard it like right, like louder. I don't know.
I don't
That was
know.
weird. Maybe it was you.
Okay, I don't need to
That
be
was
in the big
weird.
screen anymore.
Let's do this.
Oh no.
I think this
Better.
looks actually cool. Let's have the guests on the big
Yeah,
screen, and we
we'll
could
be
just be
small.
here like nobody is here. Like hello. So, what time is it? So it's 1:48. Been right. I can't speak. The live stream is almost 2 hours. So I think we should wrap soon. Wrap it up.
Sure.
I'm just thinking. Does the chat have any questions, or do you have any questions, Matt? Or do you guys have anything in mind you want to talk about?
I just
Oh.
have some stuff at the end, but if you guys have any questions first,
I have
Yeah.
a question. Does any of
Mhm.
your documentaries make it to like any streaming services or anything like that other than YouTube?
I'm only doing YouTube right now. There's one that we filmed that had such a massive set of misfortune attached to it after we filmed it. Not paranormal wise, just like business wise, that kind of made it kind of go downhill. That one was
This is
supposed to
why
go.
you always get media release forms.
It's nothing to do with media. It's
Oh, never mind.
it's locational issue. Yeah,
Location release forms.
you know what? And we did, and they still fumbled it, and they still screwed us over pretty badly. So
Wait, are you talking about like after or before you filmed?
after we filmed the first portion of it, that we were, it was supposed to be 3 investigations total. We did the first one, we did the second one at a different part of what it's supposed to be, and which was a different location. Had an issue with them too, and then we were supposed to go back to that first part of it. The first part of it decided, yeah, we don't want to do this anymore, and they canceled it. Told us that they what did they tell us?
It's not safe.
They said it the conditions aren't safe anymore, but then they were still doing like flashlight tours at night.
And
And it was
nighttime
yeah,
tours.
they were still doing nighttime
Okay.
tours, and it was self-guided at that. So it was like, all right, so like you're not trusting us to do this because you're
While
saying
being
it's
required to have someone with
while
us.
having a tour guide with us, but you're okay with people walking around that aren't signing releases and
By
aren't signing forms
themselves.
by themselves with a flashlight. Like it just rubbed me the wrong way and stuff. And then I found out that they don't believe in ghosts, and that's why they don't want to do anything with ghosts anymore. And it's just been a big headache, and just been unfortunate. We're still going to release it, but it's not where I wanted it to be. And maybe if I can make it happen somehow, maybe it will be. That's why I pushed it back so far, because I want to put it out on a streaming service. But
Oh, cool,
That
cool.
makes sense. Yeah. There's two questions I like to save to the very end of the stream. I really love both of these. So the first one is there anything you would ask a spirit about the spirit world if you got a chance? Like actually talk to a spirit and you get a response. What would you ask them?
That's a good
What is the
question.
one question you would ask? Because you can ask only one thing.
That's a really good question to ask people.
how long can they talk?
Yeah, right? Can it be a run-on sentence? Like,
Yeah.
Some could just last longer than others.
I guess I would ask
Ba-dum.
like what is the afterlife? I guess that would be the question. What is the afterlife?
I guess if you want to make it as broad to get as much response, if you're really trying to find a loophole, I'd say that's the best question to ask is like,
Definitely. Like, what is there after death? You
Yeah.
know, like, where do you go?
explain your situation right now, pretty much, or just explain yourself, I
Yeah.
guess. Like, give us the nitty-gritty.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I like that. What's the afterlife about?
What is it?
What is it?
Yeah.
Explain.
There's so many questions I would like to know, but it's like, oh, I can only ask one thing. But I think that's like the thing that kind of answers most of the questions, I think, in one.
Make it most
So,
broad. Yeah.
exactly. Well, this is kind of related to that. So, what is something you would never ask?
How am I gonna die?
Or when?
Yeah,
Or
I
when?
guess
I was gonna say, when am I gonna die? I guess
that would be a
because
question that you don't want to know.
Yeah, because then you'd be living life like waiting to that day. Yeah.
Mm.
I guess that's a good one not to ask. I'm trying to think of something different so we don't have the same for both. I don't know. I guess it's very situational. Like, I don't know.
I think
I like the red lights in the background. It's cool.
Thank you.
That was random.
Sorry, I have ADHD.
Same. It's fine.
Yeah, I just think like how or when I'm gonna pass, I guess, or like how someone is, or just like those kind of questions
Those are
that
very
you want to
dangerous
know but you
questions to
shouldn't
ask.
know.
Yeah. 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 Okay, I'm spacing out. What the hell? So one last thing. So what is something you would say? Because I know there might be some people in the chat watching right now who want to be paranormal investigators. They're just starting. What do you want to tell this person? What is what they should know?
Stay away from TV.
Yeah, pretty much.
I guess, do your own research. Be you. Don't try to be, someone that's just on TV or one of these YouTubers. Don't rely on one source and question everything.
Pretty much, yeah. I can agree. Debunk, be genuine, do it for the passion, not for the money. Research everything you can. Experience things for yourself. Don't go off of what people say. Be able to experience it so you have your own opinion and your own stance on it. So yeah.
That was perfectly said. Like it just came like ding Like it was like ready. You were waiting for that question. But yeah, I think that is it. It's been almost 2 hours now. Thank you so much
Of
for
course.
Thank you.
hanging out with us and agreeing to come here. And yeah, I'm so excited to see like everything you have coming up and these videos that you have like you're editing right now and something is coming up soon. So yeah,
I have one
I'm
question.
really excited. Yeah, ask away.
What is your favorite episode you've made?
Oh.
And everyone after the stream, go watch it.
Probably our most recent Eloise Asylum episode.
That's a good one.
Eloise.
Oh,
Yeah, it's probably one of my favorites. Honestly, like it's one of the only places that we finished filming, and like I got in the car to drive to the hotel, and I looked at her and I said, "That went perfect." like filming
good.
everything, like B-roll, drone shots,
Activity.
activity, the way we filmed it, everything just went perfect.
I'm gonna watch
Yeah.
it. I'm gonna watch it. Which how long ago was that? Eloise.
It was like a couple months ago. I think maybe October, maybe.
Oh, I found it. It said 3 months ago. Most haunted asylum in the Midwest. You know what? I can't wait to take Helena to like these asylums out here. She's been to one of them. She's been to Roanoke County Infirmary. But like that one, like there's a lot of them out here. Like
Yeah.
the cool thing about being in the Midwest, like it's so easy to get access to locations in the Midwest.
Mhm.
And that's the main reason why we're going to be living out there in the future.
Yeah.
And so,
Mhm.
yeah.
So there's one more question because they were like, "Can you please ask my question?" So I think it's this one. So I just found out about Mark and Debbie Constantino makes me afraid to pursue the paranormal. What are your thoughts on how investigating has long-term effects on your life?
Are you sure?
That's actually a very deep question.
I have done. I've read several articles about what had happened to them. It's very sad. It's very sad. Unfortunately, I don't think that has much to do with the paranormal. Personally, I've seen abuse firsthand, and it sounds like that relationship was very rocky. And I could be wrong. But assuming that it was paranormal is, I don't think it's right, because I think that there was more to the story than just ghosts or demons.
Mhm.
I blame the person that did that.
Yeah,
Mark.
I don't know. That's just my opinion on it. I don't think it has anything to do with ghosts. So
The one thing it affects with your life, your financials.
yeah,
Yeah.
accurate.
That your
Accurate.
financials are in risk and danger. That's about it.
Yeah, it's an expensive hobby. I because of the success of the last film, I spent a lot of money on some recent equipment. Like I've been wanting to do movies for film. I mean, for TVs, and I want it to be better than the last one. So I was like, I want to buy my own cinema camera. So I bought the Ronin 4D. It's a DJI Ronin 4D, which is like expensive $13,000 camera. So
Yeah,
know.
like everything you made, you're just what's the word? you said?
reinvested into the company.
Reinvested, yeah. But it's like yeah, you spend a shit ton of money, but it's all for the filmmaking and the hello.
Yeah.
That was my cat. Love for filmmaking and everything, and obviously the future videos, I mean future documentaries will be better, so yeah.
That's always the goal,
That's
right?
what I do. Always build up. That's actually something I want to say to like new paranormal investigators who are just starting out. It's like it's okay if you don't have a camera. Film with your phone. It's okay if you don't have any equipment. Your phone has a voice recorder. You can buy cat balls. They're cheap. Start small and buy like one equipment at a time. And yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty much it.
Yeah, I actually like when not everyone needs to be a filmmaker at this. You can just do it just because you love it. I just do that because, and I'm pretty sure he does it too, because we just love the art of film. We love doing that. That's just another hobby on its own. So now it's a job, but yeah. So it's like it's just a lot of fun to us. And then we add that, and it just goes well together too. The paranormal and filmmaking goes very well together. Yeah, and that's why I spent that much money on a camera. And I'm assuming all the equipment that you spent, I'm pretty sure involves some of your cameras too. Yeah.
Mhm.
I just bought a new
Mm.
camera. FX.
Oh, which one is it? Which one is it?
It's the FX30.
Oh yes, yes. The FX30, Sony
Nice.
FX30 is really good. And it's a perfect example. Cinema cameras make a
Yeah.
big difference. I could after this is not live anymore, I could show you like the quality difference of my newest intro. It's sweet just because just having a cinema camera makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
I love how you nerding. How you say it?
Yep, nerding out here.
Nerding out. Yeah. Anyways, I think I'm gonna end this stream here. It's been so much fun. I would love to have you guys on maybe some other time also.
Absolutely.
And yeah, thank you for the chat also. Like so many good questions. And awesome. I got some new members and a donation and all that. I'm sorry I didn't really pay attention to the chat. I've been kind of just listening to you guys and like, excuse me, Betty, I'm trying to talk. But yeah, I really appreciate all of you, and yeah, I'll see you on the next one. And subscribe to these guys.